Good morning, everybody. Quick update on our current conditions throughout the area and what we can expect here over the next few hours. Right now, we're seeing some of those heavier storms and showers move into the area in parts of the New River Valley, most notably out towards Wytheville. As you take a little bit of a wider view, you can see how that system's really starting to come together in a linear shape, which is kind of what we've expected with this. Now, with that being said, have had a few severe weather warnings issued in parts of North Carolina that are now extending up into our region. So that's going to be something we want to monitor here as those cells move more into our viewing area in parts of Southwest Virginia. Well, now that my mic is working, now let's take a look at what's going on. So you see how this system is more broken up as you get further to the north, whereas further down into the south, you'll start to see more of a little bit of a linear shape as we take a look at kind of our composite radar with all of our radar data in the Carolinas. Again, a line of severe thunderstorm warnings likely addressing that wind threat as this system moves through. Tornado watches in effect for pretty much the entirety of the central parts of the Carolinas and some of the eastern Carolinas, notably the entire region down from Wilmington into Charleston, and then further up north, just on the edge of our viewing area in North Carolina. For us, however, we're mainly looking at those cells that are coming through this morning right around Mount Airy, down towards Salisbury and parts of North Carolina, and then this line that's currently out towards Wytheville. That's going to be an area that we need to watch, as well as kind of what these cells are going to do down here. With that being said, timing of this whole system going to be going through the area, most of the New River Valley into Roanoke here over the next few hours, and then likely going to be out of here by about dinner time. Let's go through that real quick with Futurecast. You can see that cold front situated. I think this model's a little bit ahead compared to what we're seeing right now. But what we're going to see is this line really start to shift into the Blacksburg area and then into the Roanoke area by about 9-10 in the morning. And then as it heads further to the east, then we'll start to actually clear up. But we're not quite out of the woods yet, as we get a few cells that pop up following that front once we get a little bit of sunshine later on in the afternoon. Now, those could be a few downpours here and there, a few thunderstorms, but we're going to have to watch that and make very intently just to make sure nothing starts spinning again. Later on in the afternoon and evening, though, we actually clear up and could see a little bit of sunshine by about 9 p.m. So overall, looking pretty solid. Yeah. Let's see. Getting the mic adjusted. Okay. Sweet. All right, let's see if this works now, because it was quiet. So, that being said, severe watches throughout the area. So we have several severe thunderstorm watches further down to the south, parts of Georgia into Florida, and then those tornado watches that I mentioned into parts of North Carolina and South Carolina as well. Wind gusts going to be the primary threat with this system, so let's take a look at what happens with that as that front passes through the area. Throughout the morning, we'll start seeing wind gusts get up into the 50 mile per hour range, possibly even as high as 70 miles per hour, some areas just localized. And then as that front passes through the region, we'll start to calm down by later on in the day compared to what we're already seeing. But winds are still going to be rather gusty for the foreseeable future, just given how this system is set up. Wind over the next few days, certainly going to be something to monitor, as we will be still rather gusty tomorrow as well, with those winds lasting into the foreseeable future and temperatures cooling down as a result of that cold front passing through the area. So again, biggest thing is going to be the damaging wind threat. There's a very isolated hail risk further up into the north. That's going to be low. Tornado risk, not zero, but low. But we're going to have to monitor that, especially in our eastern counties of the viewing area. So with that being said, what we can expect here over the next few hours, quite a bit of winds Some pretty frequent downpours throughout our area, but the big thing again is going to be watching those cells that are coming through and seeing how solid that line forms as it heads into parts of the New River Valley, into Roanoke, and then further on to the east. Any sunshine that ends up getting through will end up fueling these storms a little bit more, likely making them more intense. But as of right now, the amount of wind shear, so the amount how the wind is changing as the higher up you go in the atmosphere and how fast it's going, certainly going to make it pretty easy for anything to spin. It's just, is it going to have the energy to create anything that is a supercell or tornadic? And that's why the primary thing is going to be those straight line winds that we have to worry about that could easily be damaging, especially some of the areas where we've had debris still on the roads from that ice storm a couple weeks ago, or along side roads, some areas, especially areas such as Franklin County, down into the New River Valley. So that'll be something to watch for. But as this system continues to head east, gonna see that line of rain really hammer the region. It looks like the heaviest part is starting to get a little bit out of Wytheville and starting to head into Pulaski, Dublin, up into Pearisburg, with a little bit of a break in areas such as Blacksburg and Christiansburg, although wouldn't surprise me if that's a little bit of a radar hole there. But with that being said, let's take a look at Virginia Tech Skycam. Mostly cloudy skies there, but again, likely going to see slick road conditions throughout the course of the day, and then later on throughout the afternoon and evening, that's when we're going to start to see this wrap up.